Do you really believe, like, really? Do you really believe when you pray about something, you asking God for something, do you really believe it? Because if you don't really believe it, that may be the reason why you haven't received it. You know, you can't pray and then think that God supposed to show up when you want him to show up. No. Then that means that takes away from having faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You know what I'm saying? And so if you gonna ask God for it, if you talking to God about it, then you have to believe first before the 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 manifestation or the blessing or whatever it is takes place. You have to first have belief. You have to have belief. You can't go into it like, I pray, man, ain't nothing happen. I get questions about that all the time, man. I've been praying, man. Seeing like ain't nothing happen, man. I don't know what to do. You do know what to do. Believe, pray. But you gotta believe. What is prayer without belief? That's like you just asking God for something, or you praying to God, but you not believing that He can do what He say He gonna do. Now you have to keep in mind, you have to understand that just because you prayed, that don't mean that it's gonna happen in your time. And it's not gonna happen in your time. It's gonna happen on God's time. You asking God. God is the source. He is the source. He is the way, the truth, and the life. So how can you go to God and say, God, you know, I really need this and that, or however you talk to God, and then you expect Him to just do it because you said it? No. Then comes faith. Then comes believing. You got to believe in what you asking for. But a lot of the times we get so caught up in our our own way of thinking, our own way of functioning, our own way of wanting things to happen and what we want to do, that we don't truly focus on the God that we talking to. See, the God that we serve, He has power. And I ain't talking about no lip power. I ain't talking about no no lip video stuff. No. He has all power over all things. He knows the beginning from the end. He knows the plans that He has for you. He knows. But do you truly believe in Him? Or do you just want Him to do what you want Him to do whenever you want Him to do it? Instead of you believing that in at the right time, at the appointed time, that whatever you ask in His name, in Jesus' name, it will come to fruition in His time. In His time. And I know you like, why are you talking about this? I'm talking about this because I believe that we as humans, we become so selfish, but also we you could get into a lost state because things ain't going your way right now. Uh, things seem blurry. It seemed like you at a standstill. I know what that feel like. You know what I'm saying? Um, and then you really be ready to give up. Giving up always seemed like the answer because, I could just do what I've been doing, man. It ain't gonna never happen no way. But you gotta realize you are what you speak over your life. It's power in the tongue. That ain't just no word, the words that He just put in the Bible. No, you are what you speak. If you speak bad over your life, what you think gonna happen? If you negative, what you think gonna happen? If for example, man, I hope man, one day you know, I might see what's up with the hope and the might. You gotta believe that it's yours, even when you don't have it, even when you don't see it. You got to believe. That's faith. You got to believe it, even though you can't see it. You still got to believe it. You got to know ahead of time. You got to believe it. You know what I'm saying? And it's so easy to get caught up in your feelings. See, your feelings are liars. Just because it don't feel like it's working, that don't mean that it's working. I just said that the God we serve, He's almighty. He don't need no help. He has all power, and He is in control. And a lot of the times, that's another thing that we have a problem with is control. We always want to control everything. God didn't create us to control everything. He put us in control of things, but in His name, right? So what that mean? That means that without Him, we still don't have no control. And without him, we are nothing. We are nothing. And you have to humble yourself before the Lord. You have to just have that that faith to where it's like whatever you touch, whatever you do, it's gonna work out. So I remember when, this is about 3 years ago, you know, when we first got here, man, the first year was the roughest year. And when I say rough, I mean on a whole, like, I never experienced that. For one, I made a move I never made for the betterment of myself and my family. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't operate off of just because I wanted to move. I just left like, okay, I'm gonna try it out here. No, I asked God for direction because I knew that I ain't much without God. I don't know about you. You may got it all together. I don't got it all together. So I just straight asked God, God, can you please just, help me? And I came to him bold. I ain't gonna lie. Like, God, they say you real. I don't see it. I don't see these blessings and stuff they talking about. It don't seem like, you know, that nothing happening for me. I need your help. If you real, you got to show me. That's how bold I came to God because I needed God. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, made the move, got here. The first year was one of the toughest years of our life since me and my wife been together. No support, no extras, uh, uh, funds low, you know, began to be doubtful because things wasn't going the way I thought they was gonna go, all that different type of stuff. But then things started to get better after that first year and stuff like that. But then I found myself back in that same place, that same mindset. And then I had to really sit there and think like, what changed? Like, what's going on? I ain't liking this. I know that we're gonna have trials and tribulation, but this is just, overwhelming. But what I realized is that I stopped believing. And I could say that now, I couldn't have said that then. But I had stopped believing. I was losing my faith. I was ready to quit. And you think about how that happened. Well, I stopped communicating with God as much. Praying, wasn't doing that as much. Reading my word, wasn't doing that as much. You know, Getting high, all that different type of stuff. And, none of this stuff I'm proud of, but that's just where I was at that time. And so I realized it, but then I was just like, man, it just seemed like every time, something good happened, then it's like, dang, we back here. But at that time, I didn't understand that this walk with God is a lifestyle. Like how we throw around that word, you want this lifestyle, that look good and everything. You got to be committed to Christ. You got to be committed to God. You know what I'm saying? Every day ain't gonna be the most peachiest day. But see, when you committed to God, everything gonna be okay, right? And I had to get out my feelings and understand God didn't leave. I stopped doing what I was supposed to do, getting closer to God. That's the worst thing you can do is draw from God when you're supposed to be drawing closer to God. And this is an everyday thing. It's not just because, oh, today, I'm good. No. You got to stay the course. You got to keep running this race. You got to keep going, keep flowing. And it's not a race. You know what I'm saying? It's not a race. You know what I'm saying? Move at your pace. You don't gotta be nobody else. You don't gotta try to be nobody else. And you don't have to, uh, you don't have to allow the things around you to change you. You change the room. You be that voice. You be what God called you to be. And you gotta keep your faith. And so, when I realized that, my whole mind frame changed because I'm like, when it all fails, God gonna be here. But I got to do my part. That's mandatory. No matter what you face, you got to do your part because you just never know. And we all need Christ. No matter how good your situation is, how bad. When it's good, you pray. When it's bad, you pray. When it's good, and you got to keep that cycle going. You got to keep that cycle going because that's what's going to keep you grounded in God. That's what's going to keep you afloat. That's what's going to keep you confident. That's what's going to keep your faith, keep you believing, staying close to him. When you draw near from him, all the thoughts get in your head. The enemy try to come in. It say he prowl around like a roaring lion. He prowl around like a roaring lion. He just wanna scare you up. He just wants you to give up on God. He just wants you to quit. But understand, it's gonna be okay. God is not gonna leave you. He'll never leave nor forsake you. So continue to trust in God. Don't lose your faith. And understand that you got to believe. Before you receive, you must believe it. I'm talking about ahead of time. The blessing may come 3 years from now. But as long as you believe, it will come. So, I hope that I said something. I just wanted to share that with y'all because I know how it is, man, to feel like you just at a standstill. But understand, God ain't left you. He with you. Let's go.